Hello, welcome to Wednesday Live, and we're here for week 3 of the Star Blossom so long. Woohoo! So I see a few of you here are in the comments. Please do say hello, introduce yourself, and let us all know where you're joining us from. And if you're new here, my name is Elise Beck. You see my website underneath my chin there. I think I moved my camera a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I don't look like I'm drowning, right? Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're joining us from, and I'm just gonna go pop on over to Facebook real quick and make sure that they can see us there. That we're live over here. Let me post the link. Linky linky poo. There we go. Oh, I see Nancy's here. Nancy, hello. And Kelly is joining us from Cleveland. Nancy is here from New York. Love it. Oh, to all my US friends, I hope you all had a wonderful long Memorial Day weekend. Please share what you were up to. Any hot dogs, hamburgers, barbecues, any fun stuff that you had. And all our other international friends, hope you had a great weekend. It feels like Wednesday got here really fast because we had Monday off, right? Yeah, so it's like odd. And we have Mette from Denmark. Hey, hey. And we have Tracy's here from Scotland. Hello. And Cindy's joining us from South Carolina. Let me pop on over to so I shared the event on my Facebook page. I can't share inside this group, but let me see if it's showing up on my page too. That way I can see if anyone's joining us from Facebook. I'm still figuring out how to live stream into the group. Lots of people are still having bugs with it, so I'm waiting just to see if something good comes out of it. That'll make it easy. Oh, hello! So I can see myself on my own Facebook page, so you can join us from there too. Let me share that link into the EPP Society too. If folks prefer to join us from Facebook. Here we go. English Paper Society. We're live. Week 3 of the Star Blossom so long is here. Ta-da! Okay, I'm gonna share that. And I would love to know also, how are you doing with your Star Blossom blocks? Were you able to? I know everyone had the long weekend doing fun stuff. If you weren't able to catch up, then that's totally fine too. You get the replays. But if you did, I would love to know those of you that finished sewing the A templates, the center A templates together, along with the B templates to the A templates. Ta-da! Let's see. And Deborah's joining us from LA. Deborah, it's sunshiny day today, right? I know last week it was all overcast and gloomy, and now we finally got some sun. And we got Marilyn joining us from Washington. Gail is here from Canada, Alberta. And Nancy said, my boyfriend had to go for upper and lower GI testing yesterday. Oh no, I hope he's okay. We'll be crossing our fingers for him. Oh. No fun. Let's see. All right. All right. And do let me know if there were any snacks that you hit. If you have any questions, would love to cover those. Now is a good opportunity to pop in. So, and a little PSA or a good tip: do not sleep with semi-wet hair, because the next morning you will wake up with the fro and it will not stay put. So, for those days, we put on the cap. And Zaza is joining us too from Scotland. Oh, it's very wet there. Oh no, are you having rain? Oh, Katrine. Hello, Katrine. So glad you made it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch camera. I'm gonna jump right into one thing I heard people talking about, so I can kind of catch you all up. So remember, I'm working on a medium and a large sample. So, but all my previous samples that I showed you, those were the small. So let me switch here. There we go. All right, so for this week, what you were supposed to have done is sewing these 5 center A templates together along with the B templates that are like the petals in quotation marks, right? And one way to make this easy, sewing this part together after you sew, remember how I told you to sew 3 together and 2? If you're, let's say you participated in the Celestial Blossom so long, you know that one is 6 diamonds in the center, right? And we did in 2 halves. But because this is an odd number, So we sewed 3 together and then 2 is because we want to go ahead and match it up to the center and sew out, come back to the center and sew out. So I saw a lot of posts in the Facebook group as well. Someone was working on diamonds, not this particular project or the celestial blossom, but anytime you have 6 diamonds or any pointed bits meeting in the center, and you want to make sure they're aligned as close as possible. We don't have to aim for perfection, right? But if you're like me and you're like, oh my God, it's off and it's going to bug you, then yes, bring out your seam ripper and go ahead and undo the stitches and start over, right? Because if it's going to bug you later, might as well undo it now while you can. And what the reason we go from the center out and come back and sew the center out is so that we can make sure that the points here in the center are lining up. So this one's okay. It's not perfect, but I'll live with it. This one seems a little off, but like, is anyone really gonna be able to tell after we take the papers out and quilt this thing and kind of put it away? No, no one's gonna be able to tell anyways, right? So it's a-okay. So after you sew the 5 A templates together in the center, we want to go ahead and start adding the petals, right? The B templates. The order that you can do it that might help for those of you that are new to EPP is by sewing this seam here between the point, this seam above the point of the diamond. So those together first, like so. You can see how I've done that here, and then I sewed this one together already. Let's see. So this seam has been sewn together. And for crying out loud, please don't feel like you have to keep this paper intact. It does not have to stay put. But what makes it easy, if you haven't sewn the connecting side seams here, is that these two papers will come together and you can sew that seam and this paper won't bend yet. But if you need to, just fold it. Put a little fold on there and make it easy for yourself as you're sewing it. I mean, it's paper, right? And it'll come undone. And we like to press it if you don't like the creases afterwards on your papers, and you can reuse it many, many times. And then sew that seam, come back, and then after you have all the seams connecting above the points on the diamonds, come back and sew the seams that are continuing with the seam along the diamonds. And that'll be super easy because you just lay it flat and it'll just go along, right? Makes it super easy. So that's one little tip or trick that I have got to share for you if you were having some issues sewing the petals together. But I think everyone's been doing good, right? I didn't see any major problems. I think just the are very, very, very new beginners that might have been like, which seam do I go with first? If at all, just bend your papers, put a little crease on it. That is totally okay. And then let's see. And good morning from a cold, wet New Zealand. Oh, so it's wet and cold in Scotland, New Zealand. Something's going on, right? And we have what? They have tornadoes in Texas. What? Oh, I hope all our friends in Texas are okay. Let's see. Rhonda's joining us. Hi, Rhonda. And Nancy said, "Love the stripes. Their stripes are fun, right? So this got a little twisty effect. So I decided not to fussy cut them pointing in. Instead, so they kind of like have a little movement to them. Let's see. Yes, bend those bad boys. It's just paper, right? And both Salsa and I will press our papers afterwards to get those creases out. Totally fine. And let's see. Okay, so this is the large one that I worked on. And I started sewing some of my tips here, would we say the tips of the petals, leaves of the petals, I guess that's what you call it. I started sewing those in. So that's what we'll be doing today. Let me get my medium sample out. Because this one has all the B templates, the connecting sides, everything sewn together, like so. And this one, even this one, you can't really tell if it's not perfectly aligned in the center, which makes using a little busier print perfect, right? That way, no one can tell. We're all good. And so I got two of my little tips here, A templates that go in between all the little grooves here. Done. And then let me grab a couple. Let's see. And we can start sewing those together. And I'm just using the same thread that I used last week. Oops, I almost pulled it out of the needle. and I shared this on the supply list on the blog. Zoop. Here we go. I'm using bottom line 60 weight number 624, which is a natural weight, natural white. It's a 60 weight, 100% polyester thread, very fine. And I'm not personally, I'm not a fan of the flat back stitch for EPP. I prefer the whip stitch. Who was it that posted it? And I said, yes, I whip stitch too. I whip it, and someone said, whip it good, whip it real good, right? So yes, whip stitches for EPP I think is perfect. And if my white thread the stitches show a little bit, that's fine. I don't mind. And I think most of the time, even though I use white, it doesn't show up that much. I think you get better and better as you go. So don't aim for perfection if you're just starting with EPP. Just keep on practicing and you'll get better. So we have, remember the diamonds? We have the tails. They're sticking out. So those are the things that we want to look out for when we're starting to put these together. So my tails are pointing in two opposite directions, which is what I usually like it to do. But when you baste all your pieces, make sure they all face the same way. See how my bottom tails are facing to the right and top tails are facing to the left. You want to stay consistent whichever direction you decide to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and start with this. Put it in the tip. See, it's like a perfect fit, right? Love it. But the way you want to make sure, you might have made a few extra stitches here connecting the side seam here. And then when you put your A template in, you might notice that it's not aligning. Let's say, I'm going to exaggerate. It might be like this, right? See how the top is sticking out and you're like, what the hey? What's going on, right? But so what you want to make sure to ensure that they all line up smoothly, this is like one continuous side here instead of sticking up like that when you sew it together, is by putting the two pieces right sides together and line them up by this corner here. The outside corner is where you want to line up your templates now. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up there. So even if you got a little stitch happy and connected few extra stitches along this seam here where my index finger is pointing, by ensuring that we're lining up the tips, the corners here, even if it's a few extra stitches in here, we can come and fudge it in and wiggle it in there, right? And make sure that it fits. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna make sure my corners lined up. Let's see, make sure I'm on camera. Sometimes I move to the side, and I have a knot on my thread already. So I'm gonna do 2 stitches and secure it with the knot. Come through, and then wrap my thread, hold it, the wrapped part, and pull it through. And now it's secure. Let's see. Okay. And I can even open it up and see, oh, and look at that. It aligns. It's perfectly lined up. Love it. And that's what we want. Okay, and then we're going to go and continue sewing. And then if you find that this piece is getting in your way as you're sewing, just fold it away. Yes, we do bend and fold our papers, please. And now I'm just going to go ahead and sew straight up. Let me make sure. There we go. And I'm using a milliner's needle size 11 right now. I think Kathy posted a really fun looking needle threader. I think it looked like a little mannequin inside the group. Look it up. Kathy. I think it was Kathy. Yeah. I was just scrolling through real quick. So that might be a good option too. Let's see here. And then we just continue. And another post I saw or comment was that I guess someone had mentioned that your whip stitches need to go straight across. I don't think mine have ever gone straight across perfectly. They're always slightly at an angle because I don't sew front to back and I don't sew back to front. I sew slightly diagonally, as you can see. I think it would be kind of weird to hold it like this or like, yeah, I don't know. And mine yeah, my stitches are slightly diagonal. So whatever's comfortable as you're sewing, right? So I had to go back and look at my stitches. How do I sew? Yeah, slightly at an angle because as you can see, yeah, you can see, right? Yeah, it's at an angle. There's no way I could sew it straight across. Let's see, and I'm in the corner here. I'm gonna go ahead and secure with the second stitch. Wrap my thread around the needle so I get a little knot there so it's secure. And now we can open this up. Beautiful. And now I already know that this point will be right in the center. I can just come back and flippity flop. And I want to get my little tail out of the way. And this time I'm definitely going to fold my papers, bend them like so. And I can continue. And even on this side, it's just a good practice to secure with the knot again so it doesn't unravel. You don't have to. But I think the more something becomes automatic, where you always end up doing a second stitch and not knotting it, in whichever when you come to a junction or intersection or end of a seam line, I think that makes for a good habit. It'll just become automatic, and then if something for some reason happens, let's say my thread broke here and the whole seam started to unravel, it'll stop right there where my last knot was, and I won't have to go back and redo multiple seams. Fold the little tail away. Ooh, where did I go? Come back here and continue. Let's see. And once I'm in the corner, I put one stitch and a second, wrap my thread around, hold the thread that I wrapped as I pull my needle through, and then I got it secure. And now I can go ahead and put the little tail that I opened up, fold it back in, and ta-da! We got a perfectly placed little A template in the tip that looks like leaves, right? Between the two B templates. Ta-da! Let's see. Susan made it! Hi, Susan! Yes, wiggle wiggle. I mean, I think EPP is the only really you can't get away with wiggling machine sewing project. Well, I guess you could a little bit. Foundation paper piecing, there's no wiggle room there. But EPP, you can always wiggle a little bit and fudge your templates in there because once you take the paper out and you just press it, no one can tell. And what no one can tell, no one will know. Dun dun. Let's see. Kelly Grace says, thanks for the recommendation of the all. I'm using mine now to pull papers out of a project from 2017. Whoa, love that. Working great. Awesome. Let's see. Susan's Christmas tree hexies are all bent. Yeah, it just makes sense. Why fight it? Oh, and you love to flat stitch. Yeah, I tried it. I just never became a fan. Let's see. Nancy says, we are such a silly group of stitchers. If it's not fun, what's the point, right? Should be fun and relaxing, and it's almost meditative, just stitching. I think that's what makes EPP so nice because we have the papers in there to guide us already. So you don't have to be like uber focused on aligning your seams, right? As if you were just hand piecing without any papers and you were going off the, let's see, drawn seam lines, right? So yeah, super meditative. It's like a form of sewing yoga for quilters. Let's see. And Tracy got my cut quilt papers all bent, crumbled up, but was easy to remove papers. Yes, yes, love that. Awesome. Uh, right? And Susan says, yeah, whatever which way we do it, we come to the same conclusion. Absolutely. Let's see. And Sasa says, makes it much easier to remove shapes when you stitch them in the wrong place. Yeah, and Nancy goes, ta-da! And Julie's joining us. Hi, Julie. Life insurance. Oh, no. Ooh, hope everything's okay, Julie. We're glad you made it today. Hope just checking in on you and hubby. Both doing all right. Let's see. Sorry you were on the phone for 2 hours. Ugh. Yeah, no fun. And Susan said it's sunny and beautiful in Ottawa. Nice, nice, nice. Yes, Katrina, is there Zoom tomorrow? Yes, for EPP Social for all our EPP club members. Yeah, I'll be sending out the link later today and tomorrow too. Uh, and Susan said, when you flat stitch, who's going to see back stuck in middle? Well, yeah, no one's really gonna see the back. I think for me when I did flat stitch, I couldn't get my pieces to be tight and the way I wanted them to be. And I think maybe I grabbed too much fabric on either side. But whip stitch, I don't really have to think about it or hold something flat. It's just putting two shapes together, whip it good, right? Yeah. So that's why I love whip stitching. Let's see. I have to admit, I did try flat stitching for a wall item that was going to be more of a decorative thing and not really used. So I think, yeah, your the flat back stitching for your Christmas tree is perfect because that's going to be a decoration, right? Not a quilt. So love it. Let's see. Oh, I think I got everything. Let me see Facebook. Check the group too because sometimes I see comments, sometimes I don't. Let me go and refresh it. Let's see here. Uh, uh, Oh, thank you, Lucy, for sharing. Is Lucy here? There she is. Hi, Lucy. I saw Lucy was helping to share where we are live inside the Facebook group. Let's see. Let me share the link. Karen, are you here too? Karen. Let me just send Karen a quick link so she doesn't miss out. Hi, Karen. Can't find us here. YouTube. Okay. All right. Finito. All right. So what you want to do is go ahead and add all your 8 templates to all the parts here, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that you're gonna sew together. So I'm gonna assume that this is quite a not it's not gonna take you that long. I think this is good. So I wanted to jump in and start the edge templates too, just in case we got a few of you that are like ready to go. Like I'm ready. So I'm gonna grab my edge templates. Which ones do I want? Let's see. Let me see. Grab 3 here. And these have not been pressed, so don't mind the creases. Let's see. So we got edge templates. They're gonna go like so, right? Zip. Move that down a little bit. Yes. And remember when I was showing you how to base the edge templates, I told you if you're gonna make mug rugs, don't base the outer longest side, right? See how my seam allowance is just open? You can see my desk through it. Let me flip it over. Do not base the long side if you're going to make mug rugs because you're going to just bind the whole thing, right? But if you're planning on putting multiple blocks together or you want to take a block and applicate to it something, a bigger project perhaps that you're working on or putting together to background squares, then go ahead and base the longest side on the edge templates. But for the mug rug that we're making during the sew along, you do not need to baste the longest edge. So let me go ahead and secure this. I'm just gonna bury it in the seam allowance. Give it a little trim. And let's see. Let me work on these two. Let me put a little knot. Let's see. Gail made it. Hello, Gail. So glad you made it here. Ta-da! And let's see. Oh yeah, see, yeah. I think either you love it or you're not a fan of it. But if there's something that's gonna go on the wall, I'll consider it. Let's see, and yeah, Nancy's a whip stitcher too. Yay! Let's see. Okay, so I got a knot on my thread. Let's see here. Oh, doing really good time-wise. Woohoo! So I got my two of my edge templates. They do not have the longest side basted. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up here. And line it up here. And looks good. Yes, yes, yes. And I like to start in the corner with one of the edge templates. So I'm going to start with this one. Line it up with the corner. So I can line it up with the seam here even to make sure it's nice and straight. Just going to bend this out of the way. And I'm going to do 2 stitches in the corner like always. Whoops. Pulled it through too hard. Got a little excited there. Let's see here. And we do a second stitch. And we do one more. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap the thread around to knot it. Where did it go? There we go. And secure. So now I got this one secure in the corner right there, right? I don't start from the long side in and into the corner and out, because then I'm guaranteed, I just know from trying multiple times, like, oh, I'm gonna do it fast. I'm just gonna start from the outside and go in. And it never meets up like in the corner. And so I end up using my seam ripper to undo the seam, come back to the corner and line it up, right? So I'm gonna save you some time and grief. Start in the corner and then just work your way out from there. And once it's secured on one side, it's so much easier to sew the next side because you know it's going to be aligned perfectly. Let's see. So that's why I like to tell everyone to experiment with your stitch order of your sides. And when you're connecting different pieces, you'll notice that the order that you sew certain shapes together will work better than others, especially when you want to align points. That's where you kind of want to pay attention to, like, okay, so which order should I sew these in so that I can make sure all my pretty points that I put so much time and effort into basting perfectly will show up nicely. So that's one side sewn together, and now my edge is on there, right? So I could even come back here, and da-da-da, and this I could line up like that, and I know right there, and I can continue with the thread that I have. Am I showing? Okay, right there. And again, in the corner, I'm going to do 2 stitches and secure it. And continue stitching. Oh, Nancy winds up with micro stitches. Yeah, then try to kind of yeah. Are you meaning they're too close together, Nancy? Yeah, then I think you just need to like kind of practice. Like, oh, let me take slightly bigger gap between my stitches. Let's see. And I'm almost in the corner. One more stitch. I'm gonna secure that one. Wrappy wrap. Come up. So now I got 2 of my edge pieces. They're just flapping and hanging on there. Like so. And now that this one's connected, my thread's still attached, I can go ahead and continue with the long side, right? Because I already know it's all lined up nicely here in the corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it the other way, like that. Bend my paper, like so. Line it up. And you don't have to be too concerned about the points here meeting because the seam allowance is open, so don't worry about that. Just stitch your way up. And again, I'm going to just take 2 stitches and secure it in the corner here. Let's see here. Nancy, you know what? I have to watch the distance I'm sewing because if it's too far away, I don't know what I'm doing. And if it's too close, it's like, what? So it has got that perfect distance that looks really good for my eyes to see. And then if I take my glasses off, I can see even better. But trying to read the comments and stitching at the same time is like, ooh, new challenge. So I just unfold my little tail when I come to this seam because I don't want to sew through it too. So I just take that away to the side and then fold it back into its place and I can continue stitching. Ta-da! And trying to watch something like Netflix or Hulu while stitching, oh, that's even trickier because I want to see what I'm stitching or I want to see what I'm watching, and the distance just doesn't work out with glasses on or glasses off. It's either one. So if I can listen to something while stitching, that's like, yeah, the best. Or maybe I just need a super huge monitor or something. Let's see. I'm gonna open up the seam allowance on my diamond here, just so I can line them up here with the seam allowance on the edge piece. And I'm actually just gonna go ahead and continue zoop, all the way across, even though there's no paper there. You don't have to, but I'm just gonna do it. That way I know this will stay put. You don't have to go all the way to the edge. Just take a few extra stitches. Go ahead and secure it. And then your seam allowance will be put. There we go. There we go. And now I'm going to come in here. Let me trim that. And now I can go back to this point here, the seams between the point of the diamond. And I'm just going to come in here. And again, just fold my paper. Like so. And keep on stitching. Oh, I forgot my double knot. Dang it. Hold on, let me go back. And put a little knot in there. Just in case. We never know, right? And now I can continue. And once you have the tips, the 8 templates that we're adding to the petals, you can actually go ahead and remove the center 8 templates too if you find that it's too bulky working with your block. I'm just leaving mine in because I like to have my project stay crisp until I press it. So once I press it, then I don't mind then I don't mind removing the papers. Let's see. Just gonna sew all the way up here. Into the seam allowance. See? Whoops, I dropped my needle. Where'd it go? There we go. Let me rethread this. It's gonna be a comedy show because I'm not gonna see what I'm threading. Let's get a clean edge. Ooh, I can kind of see. Did I get it? Nope. Hold on. Let me take my glasses off because now I can't see. And let me thread that needle. Okay. And I'm just gonna take a few stitches into the seam allowance, even though there's no paper supporting. And knot it. There we go. Chop. So homework for next week, super easy, right? Not tricky at all. And then you would obviously come in here, connect this side too. Homework for next week would just be to add all your 8 templates in here that are the leaves, tips, whatever you want to call it, into all the little grooves here. So that's total of 10. And then if you have time, then go ahead and add your edge templates as well. I think what, yeah, we got a week. I think you can do it. We can do it. So next week, you can start removing our papers and talk about next steps, right? To turn it into a mug rug. I think that's doable. Yes. Let me know in the comments. Uh, Oh, Quilt Nana is finally caught you live. This looks like a lovely project, but I'm eyeball deep in a Lucy Boston quilt. Love it. Can't wait to see. Yes, yes, yes. Fun, fun, fun. Please do share your progress photos. And Gail says, I can't stitch with my glasses on. Yeah, it's like I have to watch the distance. Like, eh. And Tracy said, I'm trying to learn good habits. Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta experiment, see what you like, but then always doing that extra knot in between when you start a seam and end a seam. That's like one good tip. Let's see. Nancy said, you read my mind. Ooh, I don't know what I read your mind with, but yes. Oh, about the stitches? Was that what you were referring to? Yeah, let's see. Make double check. Facebook. I think I got everyone. Trying to get everyone to jump on YouTube instead, so we don't have that whole I can't find you on Facebook. So we'll see. Any questions at all? Totally doable, right? All the A templates, the little leaves in quotation marks, and sewing the edge templates on. So that's yeah. I think we can do it. Since I'm making 2 blocks, and you just have to make one. Yes. Uh oh, and Sasa says, Gail, very focals for sewing are game changer. Oh, interesting. Let's see, let me scroll up a little bit. Oh, wire gauge. Now I'm curious. I missed out on the conversation. Let's see here. Da-da. Is everybody okay? Yay! Love it. Oh, I see something new. Hold on. Oh yes, double knot. Yeah, always double knot. Super fine sewing, everyone. Yes. Yeah, I think double knots, yeah, they make such a huge difference just to secure your stitches, and then you never know, your thread might break, but then yeah, you won't have to redo a whole long seam or multiple seams because you forgot to knot between the seam lines. Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So homework for next week. So all your 8 templates, those are all my dark blue templates here, to your B templates. And then if you do have a chance, start sewing your edge templates as well. If you don't get a chance to sew all of them together, then that's fine. Just start attaching a couple so you can see the next process for when we start removing the papers. I have all my papers still in, as you can see here. They're all in here, and they're also all in my large one right here. So next week we'll start popping out papers and work on the next step. Oh, and let's see. Has anyone but me, oh, let me move this. Me problems with the glue sticking much after pressing too much after pressing the basic templates. I use sew line glue stick and now removing the papers leaves, whoops, where'd it go? Leaves small pieces of paper on the fabric. Oh, maybe try a little less glue if they're sticking to your paper. And then if you're finding that they stick to your paper after you press, try giving it a little press again so it kind of warms it up and then start removing it faster. So I think that might be helpful. I found that when I glue a little bit too much, I'm getting a little glue happy and I put too much glue then that's when my papers might stick a little bit. But other than that, yeah, I would try the iron again, make it warm up a little bit, and see if it'll remove without removing the papers, without leaving some of the papers. Yes, and Susan does double stitch at the beginning and end of hexes. Lovely. Bye, Nancy. And Julie says I learned to double knot too. Yes, double knots makes a huge difference. So I don't see any questions on Facebook. I'm gonna check one more time. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone. I don't see anyone there or inside the Facebook group. Let me refresh. You guys, we're at 38,400 members. Oh my god. It's crazy. I don't see any questions there. Let's see. Refreshed. Refresh. Ta-da. So I think we're going to be good. And remember to post your progress photos inside the Facebook group because we all want to see, right? And I'm just dying to see what fabrics everyone's choosing. Don't be shy. Start sharing away. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's a good point, Zaza. Certain types of paper are like that, especially colored cardstock. Yeah, so we had lots of mishaps when people used colored cardstock for their EPP. Notice how all my papers are white. When they're colored, when you press, or sometimes I guess it's the craft cardstock that have color. I don't know if it's a different process where they make the paper. It's more fibrous. Is that way you could put it? It'll end up, it might end up sticking to your fabric more when you glue based. So if you do use colored cardstock, just be a little more careful. And also, if it gets humid or wet or damp for some reason, that color from the cardstock will transfer to your fabric and it's no fun. So try to use neutral colored cardstock or just white cardstock for your EPP. Unless I guess you're using like lots of black or dark fabric where it's not gonna make a difference if the color bleeds from the paper, then yeah, but I prefer light or white colored cardstock for that reason. Bye, Susan. Let's see. Yes, try with the warm iron. Let's see if that helps you out a little bit. Let's see. Oh, white thick paper. Yeah, then yeah, it might just be the different type of paper that you're using too. So I would try the hot iron and see if it helps loosen up the glue a little bit, and then try practicing using a little less glue, perhaps. Ooh, Julie says, just finished my great nephew's to be I spy quilt top. Oh, made a ball and pillow top too. Need to put backing. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Congrats. Uh oh, and then Julie asks, can I use interfacing on backs of hexie quilt tops? I don't want to quilt it. You mean fusible interfacing just to secure all the seams? Is that what you mean, Julie? Uh I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't see why not. Is it a yeah, it's a little cot size quilt, right? Yeah, I don't see why not. But I don't know if it would hold through a lot of washing. Especially if it's a baby quilt, it's gonna be washed a lot, right? So I don't know. I would yeah, maybe if you don't want to quilt the whole thing overall, at least some securing stitches so that even the if the interfacing comes undone in a few places, it's still being held together by some type of stitching. A little bit. Maybe a few crisscrossing quilt lines so you don't have to like do intensive quilting. Yeah. Yeah, I think you would need something to secure it because even with fusible interfacing, I've noticed if it's washed a lot of time, sometimes it'll come undone, and then that would be terrible if it started unraveling because of that. I would experiment. Yes. Uh, let's see. All right. I don't see any questions. And we're like so well ahead of time. And I'm so glad you made it today. And I can't wait to see your progress photos on your Star Blossom blocks. So please do share them in the Facebook group, the English Paper Piecing Society. That's where it's all happening, where we're all hanging out. And when we're not here on the live sound Wednesdays, oh, you're welcome, Julie. And I will see you all next week. And EPP club members, I'll see you on the Zoom calls tomorrow.